Hey everyone, this is Flora from Wicca Workshop and the Good Luck Lady. Tonight is the first night in a kind of informal class in the runes. A lot of people have asked me over the years to teach a class and what I know in rune lore, and so here you go. I think there'll probably be around 26 classes. I've sat down and tried to make an outline a little bit. There might be more and there might be less. There won't be any less than 24. I can tell you that because I'm going to go over each rune. And in those classes, I'm going to try to go over other kind of philosophical things and some magical things that go along with working with the runes. So let's get started. The first three things I really want you to start thinking about whenever you're working with runes is your orlog, which happens to be your fate, or what you came into this planet with, what you were born with, maybe your star alignment if you want to look at it like that way. But your orlog can also be what all of your kinfolk gave you. I come from a tradition where it's a belief that right around 12 weeks when you're in utero, your kinfolk, all the people, all the ancestors on both your parents' sides, come down and they say, I think I'm going to give him my sense of humor. Or I think I'm going to give her my beauty. She's going to get my blue eyes. And they just start pouring these traits and these beautiful things about themselves into you in utero, and you start to form it. And from it, you get your fingerprints. You get these images of how they've imprinted upon you. So your fingerprints are your kinfolk's prints. They're a soul imprint on you. So that's for something else, but it's just something to keep in mind. So you're fated to have these characteristics of your family. You're fated to have this information passed down to you. You're fated to come in with certain skills that you already have and knowledge that you may not, you're like, oh, I have no idea how to ride a horse, but it comes naturally to me. For me, I had no idea how to read tarot cards, but I laid out a spread and read them like it was reading Jack and Jill. It's up to each person. We all have different things. We have all different skills that are related to us. That's your orlog. That's what you come in with. Some people would say it's your weird, and it's spelled W-Y-R-D. Orlog is O-R-L-O-G, and the beginning O has a little line through it. So your weird, people will talk about bending your fate whenever you're working with runes as energy work. They'll talk about that because you do bend your weird. You bend your fate so that you can bring something good into your life. You can expand, you can contract, whatever it is that you're doing, you can bend it. So I call it healthful suggestions given by your kinfolk, poured into you, and if you want to use those skills, go right ahead. So that's your orlog, and everybody has it, and it's what helps build your soul, or the soul body. The other thing you have is Mengen, and Mengen is your charisma. It's your driving force. It's the energy that you bring to a situation. Part of it is the energy that makes people love you or hate you. You want both, because if everybody in the world loved you, it would be a very boring world, and there would be Bibles written about you, okay? The Mengen can be strengthened. It can be built upon, and it can be passed down. You can pass your charisma down to your kinfolk. Whenever they conceive that type of thing, you can pass it on. I think about when I was a kiddo, and someone was going to pass away, they would bring the whole family in. If the person was dying at home, and each person would go up and say their goodbyes. The older person that's passing away, or the person that's passing away, would touch someone. And when they touched him, the whole rest of the family knew that the Mengen, the charisma of the dying person, just attached itself onto that person that they touched, that they grabbed hold of, made direct eye contact with, and wished them something. They've passed their Mengen on to that person. Now, the charisma also has this other quality, and they call it the high Mengen. And no, this is not a kinky thing, okay? High Mengen is your luck. High Mengen, the direct translation kind of goes to luck or shape-shifting. I think it's your spirit body in some ways. And I didn't become the good luck lady because I thought, oh, gambling charms are wonderful. Actually, I became that because Your soul body has these aspects to it that shift and change, and it's your Heimingan, it's your luck. It's those opportunities that show up just for you, that are at the right time, that work with those skills and those skill sets that your kinfolk passed on to you in womb. And to build your Heimingan so that your eyes are open, so you don't just drive right past that opportunity or not answer the door when Lady Luck is knocking, you use runes. That's the purpose in using them. They like strengthen your charisma. They strengthen the minga. They help you move and twist or turn your orlog because of the type of energy that they have. And they expand and build on your Heimingan so that your luck is stronger. You're able to shift and become what you need to be to take on the opportunities that are out there. And the runes also help with making sure that nothing can take that Heimingan and tear it apart. You don't lose your luck. You would love to leave this world with the most incredible luck ever so that you can pass that on to your descendants. They won't only get it in your DNA, but you in the spirit world can pass it on to them. So, if you remember Orlog, which is your fate, your Mingan, which is your charisma, and your, some people might say your mojo, and then your Heimingan, which is your non-kinky, wonderful, lucky person self. Some translations I've read call it your shape-shifting self. So it's what you take on in the spirit body when you leave and you go out and you collect information and you start doing stuff. That's would be your Heimingan. So it's actually a part of you. It's this aspect of you that goes out, gets information, comes back and tells you. Some of my students, I might tell them it's their fetch. It might be that deep part of their soul that's kind of childlike, but it's kind of sticky. It goes out and brings stuff to you and says, okay, so is this the TV that you want to win? Or is it the TV that you saw on TV that you want to win? Because I'll keep showing you commercials about the TV on the TV, okay? So you'll find that you keep getting asked this. You'll keep being presented the same lessons, the same ideas. That's your Heimingan going out and bringing stuff to you to take a look at. Okay, so now the runes are an old system of magic that predates Christianity and is one of the oldest systems that hasn't been touched by Christianity. It's still intact. It wasn't influenced or affected by the Roman Catholic Church, and very little of it was affected by trade. So this magical alphabet was given to us and passed down orally and by rote for generations. Eventually it was written down. A lot of documents in Iceland indicate the meanings of the runes, so we know we have a really good translation of what they mean and why they're there. So with that said, there's been a lot of writing about runes in the last 10 to 20 years, and a lot of people have tried to make them fit into a Jungian psychology base, into a Christian base ideology. They don't fit into any of those things. They remind me of the energy that Hebrew letters have. When working with Hebrew letters and magic, Hebrew letters have their own energy and mean all kinds of things other than just a simple word. The runes are the same way. The runes hold energy that's related to the elements that the people of the North used and dealt with. Ice, fire, earth, water, air, iron, and blood. They're all in there. So those elements are affecting the way that runes are worked and how you work with them. They are symbols that are projected out into the universe to bring things to you, to change your weird, to bend the orlog there, and to make circumstances work out for you and to benefit you and your family so that you can pass on wealth, health, and happiness onto your descendants. That is the primary objective. So, this is part 1. This is to get you ready. There's a part 2 to this class tonight. So I'm going to talk about the rune Fehu and also a little bit about how to start working with runes.